Man, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to Life and Music Radio Show. I am your man, your boy, your host, Jay Nelson, in the building. Man, today, bro, on Life and Music Radio Show, we have another great and powerful special guest to me. Like, he is one of the coldest producers I have met in a long time. Like, bro, do you know how hard it is to get amazed by someone that's shorter than you? Like, dead serious, this man is not only just amazing, he is not only an amazing drummer, an amazing producer, a mixing and mastering engineer, and he's also a two-time master student from MTSU. Two masters, bro.
No, one master.
One master?
One master.
One
But that
master?
was tough,
Okay,
yes.
okay. I seen 2 degrees in your hand in the picture when I liked
Masters
it.
and bachelors.
Oh
Yes,
my
sir.
gosh, that's still amazing. Give it up for my man,
bro.
Gabe Pacino.
Appreciate it, man. Thank
Bro.
you so much for having me, dog.
Man,
Yes,
man, my
being here.
guy.
This was a long time in the making. I'm glad to be part of your show.
Man, for sure. Like, cause we've been talking about this for what, like 2 months? Like,
Maybe more.
Maybe a
longer.
little bit more,
Yeah.
man. But bro, how have you been? How has life been? I see you have been traveling and just been all across America, bro. How has everything been?
Man, everything's been all right. You know, now that I'm graduated, it's getting over the PTSD of school. But now it's like you're really getting into just having all this time that you would normally spend on school free, and you really want to take advantage of it and sort of see how many, what different avenues you can take to get to where you want to go.
For sure, man. So, bro, first and foremost, what got you your start? You know, going back to like early childhood and even to like you getting to college, what started you on this musical journey as not only just a producer, but like furthermore as a drummer, and as a musician?
Yes, percussion as well. How did it start? I was in my diapers as a young kid.
Oh, like
My
every last
father-
drummer.
My father was a fan of Latin music, always taking us to restaurants and bars and live music. I grew up in Miami, so a lot of Latin culture I was around. Spanish was my first language, so music was really integrated into the household. My father never played any instruments, neither did my mother, but they were always musically inclined. All my siblings, have music degrees and
Wow.
they're not full-time musicians today, but they're very talented. So it was always just a part of the family.
Yeah.
So I started just by banging all the congas and the bongos that my dad had laying around, different instruments. He didn't play, but he always had pianos around, drums, and that's just really where I got my start.
Man, bro, like, and the first time me and you had met was actually for the Band of Blues audition
That's
for
right.
drum set.
That's right.
And you had asked me, you asked me, well, do you have a good tempo? I'm like, I guess so. I think that was the first question you asked me was, do you have a good tempo? I was like, I guess so. And also Jordan Arnold was also there. Shout out to Jordan. And we were all like, well, one of us gonna have to be the drummer here. It is gonna have to be somebody here. And bro, you had insane timing and pocket, bro.
Thank you, man.
Insane pocket, man.
I appreciate
And
that.
I was just amazed with you. And then that transitioned to you calling me like I think it was like maybe a year later for a Retro Realist, the live version that you were doing for a project, and you asked me to play drums for you. And I was just like, bro, you want me?
Dude, no, it's funny you say that because when I got there, I was like, oh, shit, this guy's about to take my spot.
What do you
'Cause
mean, bro?
You talk about pocket. You for sure were miles ahead of me. You got on that drum set and rocked it, dog.
Bro,
Like, seriously.
chill,
And Jordan,
man.
too. Jordan ended up being the
Oh
drummer.
my, he had straight
He was
flashy.
performer.
He was
Yeah.
straight performing. Like, bro, I was watching him and like, bro, how you doing these stick flips? Like,
Oh,
bro,
that's his
oh,
thing,
that
dog.
was his
He'll
thing,
never drop a
bro.
stick, fool.
Not
It's just
once, not once. I swear.
Crazy.
But like, it was just like transitioning further. Like, I got to see you as a person in the studio, like an amazing mixing engineer and a producer, like to produce what sounds you wanted and everything. Like, what made you want to, transition from the live sound of drumming and everything like that to the producer side of being in the studio?
Well, at first I thought I wanted to be a band teacher. I was always in music. I was in the marching bands, the jazz bands. Playing drums. I played stand-up bass when I was younger. I took lessons in piano and guitar. So I knew that my life was going to be dedicated to music. I just didn't know where exactly I was going to go that route. I was so immersed in live ensembles. That was my world. I was like, okay, well, I'll do this. But then I started being creative and making my own music, songwriting. I started recording at home, and that's really where I felt my calling, was just making my own music and learning about the production process, and just really having the accessibility to do it all at home was just so enabling, and I just fell in love with it.
Man, bro, and when I was in that room and then I seen you just like a conductor, just orchestrating everything and making sure like, okay, hey, give me this sound so then I can have this effect, or hey, let me try this to get that effect. And I'm like, bro, this man is a mastermind. What is he doing? And like the way that it all came out in the end with every person that you've worked with, various artists, such as including retro, such as King MB, and he has a feature with one of Nashville's biggest artists, Two Live Bree,
Right.
and also you've done one with, I think his name is Loyalty Tez,
Mr.
you
Tez,
know,
Tez and C Blue.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
you've done so much for Middle Tennessee. How does that feel to work with those artists, and even to be a producer that has, a song out there that is with such a Middle Tennessee known artist?
Well, the way I approach producing is I try and be there for the artist, and I try to help as many people as I can. So I try not to take for granted all the great people, like you just mentioned, that you meet along the way. There's so many people that, when you're starting out as a producer or as an engineer, it's very easy to get frustrated with whatever achievements you think you don't have. So, but really the magic and the satisfaction comes from these people that you meet along the way, that you're able to help them. And, I just do what I can. I try and bring my talents to the table as far as, my ear and trying to orchestrate a production, putting together a musical piece, integrating the brands, whatever needs to happen in that studio. My job is to make that happen. Everything is always done for the benefit of the song, for the artist, and I just try and do my part.
Man, and that is a core thing, especially as a producer, not only just as a producer, but as a mixing engineer, because you don't want to just go in there and just put your own taste on what they want to hear.
Right.
And you like I've said before, you have traveled across the nation, and you've been to different regions and worked with so many various artists and so many styles. What would be the one style that you're like, everybody knows, they can produce every style, they want to produce any style that pays, but what style do you just like prefer? Do you prefer that samba or this southern, style, or the West Coast style? What style do you generally prefer to work with?
Well, the thing that I made a purpose of, especially early in my career, was to try and dip into as many genres as I could. I tried doing some rock metal bands. I've tried doing live recordings, a lot of rap music. The majority of, basically 99% of the work I've done is in rap, and hip hop, and R&B. So there's not necessarily something that I like the most. There's pros and cons to every sort of scenario you're in. When you're working with a band, having the dynamic of all these people in the room, it's just completely different than having just one artist, one rapper, and his buddies in the studio. It's a different dynamic. It's a different process, and a different appreciation for that, and a different way to execute the sessions too. When you have a lot of people in the room, and you've been there, it's better to be rehearsed. And
sure.
We had rehearsals.
Yes,
because
man.
once you're in that studio, it's go time. And luckily at MTSU we weren't paying anything but tuition. But
yeah, for sure.
But when you're in the real studios, you got to get to work.
I swear, it's like that 4 hours seem like 4 minutes.
Oh, it goes by so quick.
Oh my, like especially with the setup, and then you're having the people come in, and if you have a person late, you're like, look, now I got to book more time.
Right.
To it, And that is such a process. And like you said, there's beauty and magic in that process because you get to actually see the product and you notice the product as the transition is going. You know, many people don't know, you know, as an artist, as a producer, and even as a person in media, you know, it isn't more or less uh, about the finishing product. Is more or less about the journey. Like the journey is what excites you the most. You're like, bro, I got to do this again. It's just like you get on a roller coaster at any fair or any carnival. You know, you feel me?
Right.
You know, but you know, seeing that you have worked in such of the hip hop and R&B genre, you know, how do you feel like today's industry is going with, you know, not many live bands being inside except for like you know, when they do live sessions such as with Colored with on YouTube. I think it's like Colored Show, and then you even
Right.
have Tiny
The
Desk.
Tiny Desk.
Tiny Desk is a huge one. How do you feel like the industry is going? Are they reverting back to live music? Is that why we're seeing this, or do you feel like it's going to progressively continue going to the digital age?
Well, you going through the same program that I went to, which is the music production program at MTSU, you spend a lot of time thinking about that question. You know, as when you're first starting out, you're a virgin in the industry. You
For
know,
sure.
you have only experienced the 5-10 years that you've been trying to notice it. So we've been spoiled with at-home production, which has turned a lot of the music into a more digital. You know, whether you're using synthesizers or programmed drums, things have shifted that way for sure. But the emotion and the chemistry you get with live musicians in the studio, nothing will beat that. And that's something that I try and bring into any production that I do. Even if I can't have live musicians, just trying to program some live sounds and acoustic sounds because, you know, just making music with multiple people in the room together is completely different than programming beats. The rap industry right now and the pop industry, as you know, completely dominating for the past 20 years.
Man, bro, man, past it's almost been since right after Curtis Blow when everybody figured out how to DJ. And then right after Curtis Blow, so that's almost 30 years.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, so like it's like, but now you see people like, because I would have never thought in my right mind they had Juvenile on the Tiny Desk. I never thought in my right mind.
They're bringing
It was-
back some classics.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. You know, they bringing back some people that you like, bro. You're using a live band where these guys they've been playing in the clubs like for over 20 years, literally
Yeah.
dang near 20 years.
Scarface,
And
did you see
for
that
sure,
one too
yeah.
with
Even
Mike Dean?
Scarface,
Yeah,
like it's
crazy.
like, bro, like these guys are rap legends. These guys are lyrical legends. These people paved the way for, you know, artists that are now coming up, such as Retro.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just like this is wild to me that everybody's reverting back, you know, to the live music because everybody's looking for that feeling.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking for that, you know, emotion. And the best quote that I ever heard was from Stevie Wonder, was when he said, "Music is a world within itself with a language everybody understands." You know, nobody really. Some people really don't understand. Like, bro, what do you feel when you're in that studio? You know, a person could be rapping, especially if there's their talent, bro. They'll be in the studio. He'll be like, "Man, I gotta feel it. I gotta make sure I'm good." And once you feel it in that studio, then it translates to the people. And that's one thing that I do notice that a lot of musicians that do transfer to be producers do have, such as you. You know, you bring that, like you said, you bring that to the studio. You bring that chemistry. You're like, all right, look, this may not work. Let's try this together. And then you try, they're like, yo, that works.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's where I feel like is a great specialty for being a producer as yourself. Now, seeing that you went through the master's program at MTSU, how did it feel to teach your peers? You know, being a person that, you know, once was sitting in the same row with some of these people,
Yeah.
and now that you had to teach them, how was that experience teaching some of your peers the knowledge that you have and the experience that you had?
Yeah, it was very enlightening because just 2 years or 3 years before I was teaching those classes, I was taking those classes. And that was at a time where I was very young in analog recording and didn't know how to run a studio. You know, you've gone through
Oh,
it.
for
In
sure.
the beginning, a lot of the stuff goes over your head.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
it's very
it's
complicated.
so like, bro,
Yeah.
like once you get into those studios, you're like,
There's a lot to keep track of, and you learn over time, just like with anything. And so I just tried to approach it since I've been in that chair where I didn't understand much, and it was tough to understand some of these concepts in the studio. I just tried to, every time I was teaching those classes, I tried to put myself in those shoes again. So you know, I'm just trying to explain things in ways that would have helped me understand.
For sure.
And also recognizing that I didn't know it all, and I still don't know it all. So there's times where you know, a question comes up in the studio, and I don't know the answer to it. So
For sure.
I'm very clear with the students that I don't know what I'm talking about sometimes.
for sure, man.
But very, very humbling, and I met a lot of great people on the way. You know, producers, engineers, and young students like yourself that are just really inspiring to be around.
Man, bro, and it was, you know, being a person that once knew you not only just as a peer, but then like I came in, I was like, yo, he's a teacher. Like I graduated, went home for a year, and then I came back and I was like, wait, Gabe's a teacher? Gabe is like, that was very shocking
That's
to
what
me.
I said
it
too.
was,
I was like, what? You want me to teach this class?
Yeah,
Okay,
sir, but
sure.
like at the same time, it was like, bro, he has the talent. You have that teaching ability, because even when I was coming in, and it was my first year being at MT as a junior, and I was like, bro, trying to get into the studio. You then looked at me, you was like, yo, if you need help in the studio, just let me know. Here's my number. And you guided me some ways through the studio, and even various, you know, recording sessions that I was like, bro, Gabe had told me to try this. Even mic setups. Like I was just like, let me try this mic setup with drums, or let me try this mic setup with this guitar amp. And I was like, bro, he is real live. Like these are smart setups. But man, you know, with that, you know, and you grew on this love for the studio, and you grown your love for music in general with being a musician, has transformed you to now you have been to the NAMM show out in Los Angeles.
I
Now,
wasn't the only one.
how was that experience?
I walked in there. I didn't know what to expect, and it was crazy. It was you know, every single person that inspires us and that we look up to. Not every single one,
Yeah.
but a lot of them are there. You know, it's really an opportunity to meet some of the people that inspire you and ask them questions and ask them for advice. And they have the time there, you know. So there's a lot to learn at the NAMM show. There's a lot of fun to be had. Like you know about all the lectures and the live speaking that they have and the guests they have, but they have this whole huge mega field house of instruments, you know, drums, keyboards. So there was a day I went all 4 days. There was a day I spent there just playing instruments the entire day with random people, you know, just meeting people. There was a Latin drumming section. It was I think it was toga drums. So we're there, like just drum circle. I was going back there every 20 minutes because it was so much fun. Oh, it was a lot of fun,
bro. And you got to not only see, you know, one great legend, Mr. Stevie Wonder.
There's a ribbon in the sky.
I swear, bro,
Yes.
Mr. Stevie Wonder.
He really is a gift.
You know, but like you also did you also get to see Eric Moore? He was also there in the building. Did you get the chance to see him?
No, I never had a chance to meet Eric. Who's Eric?
Bro, Eric Moore, the drummer.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a nationally known drummer. And even Justin Schultz being in the building.
I know about Justin Schultz. I didn't see him.
And his sister was also there.
Yeah.
And you know, and for me, for you to have that experience is such a great and humbling thing, especially to hear it from you. It's like, man, you know, I know all of that knowledge in that room, all of that experience being in one room, and you being a person also like myself trying to get into that industry. How do you take that knowledge that they gave you and your own experience, and then henceforth do what you did at MT as a teacher and pass it on to younger peers or younger people in here that you want to meet?
Well, a lot of people come to my recording studio and my sessions, tagging along with their friends, but they're really attentive and really watching, and that's because they're doing it at home. It's so easy right now, and every time I notice that I always make it known that they can ask me whatever they want, So I always take the opportunity to help, as far as contributing what I know, and you never know because a lot of my clients have taught me things about Pro Tools or whatever DAW I'm using or just the songwriting process that I never knew.
So, man, now I'm gonna ask this next question that I'm pretty sure I for sure want to know, but many people that probably follow your fan base and follow you on social media and everything also want to know. When are you releasing another project, brother? When is the next project coming out? I don't care if it's for yourself or another pack coming out.
Sure.
When is something coming from Mr. Gabe Pacino that we can be expecting?
Well, the year of 2024 is an exciting one because there's a lot planned. You mentioned Retro's Realist. I have more content, more music coming out with my good friend Sean. We've been working really hard on that stuff. So it's all out right now. We have 3 singles out: Antisocial, Lust for Life, and Party Animal. Retrosrealist.com, GabePacino.com. You're more than welcome to listen to it. But I produced and recorded those songs, and along with other songwriters. So we've got 3 more singles coming out by the end of the year. And this year I'm coming out with a beat tape, my first beat tape.
Word.
Yeah,
So that's something we
yes.
can be expecting
Yes,
as a
beat tape, and some singles.
Okay,
with
okay,
me rapping and making music and making songs. Yeah.
All right, so are you gonna sound like Mark Wahlberg or John Cena? Tell me now.
I'm gonna sound like T-Pain meets Chris Brown meets
Okay then.
Eminem.
Okay then. All right then. So we getting a little edginess, but at the same
Yes.
time we're having fun and we're
Oh,
partying with it.
very bouncy.
I
Very
feel
bouncy.
like it. I feel like, but man, Gabe, I thank you for coming through. I really appreciate you coming through, brother, man. Tell these lovely people you're at Instagram, social media, and even back to your website so then they can book you and get sessions with you, bro.
For sure, bro. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me here. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for having this conversation with me and taking the
thanks.
opportunity to just talk.
All right, for sure, for sure.
As far as my Instagram, you can follow me at gabe.pacino, GabePacino.com. It's my website, GabePacino. My father, Paul Pacino, says he's the one and only, but I'm the next in line. Gabe Pacino, the one and only. You can find me on there, GabePacino.com, Instagram, Gabe.Pacino. Everything you need is right there.
Man, y'all go support his music. Y'all go look up his songs with Retro Realist and also all of his other music with I am so sorry, Loyalty Test and various artists. Like he said in his bio, I know for sure because I click his bio a lot. In his bio, he does have a link tree that can take you to all his streaming platforms of music and all the music that he's worked on, man. So thank y'all so much for tuning in to Life and Music Radio Show. This is another episode down. Now, for real, go talk to God because you know he want to listen to you and you know he want to talk to you. Man, we love y'all. We out of here. Peace.
Peace. Thank you. Stellar Jack. Thank you so much, man. Man, you were really